Okay, welcome everyone. I want to just do a quick little stream, maybe half an hour, max an hour, to, sketching in a few higher time frames, because since the crash happened, I've not really analyzed any more higher time frame. So that's what we're gonna do today, a weekly market preparation. Okay. This is how we start a new trading week in good fashion, 100% Chartsmith. I mean, gotta do what we gotta do. Okay. First, I will quickly wanna discuss a few things about Bitcoin. Like I said, it's just gonna go for the higher time frame. I'm not gonna zoom in too much to scalp at the moment because I want to wait for the market to open, and also of course the ETFs open on Monday for New York, and I'm really curious how New York will react because this dump was after when New York closed. So that's gonna be what I'm waiting for, but we can draw in some definitely some high time frame zones. Trying not to go below the 1 hour time frame. But we'll see how that goes. First up on Bitcoin, these highs are a little bit scary because those highs does look like a macro top, and I'm not sure where this absolutely massive dump came from. Is it some confluences for going down? Well, yes and no, because we are still in the same range, right? And we have not broken out of the range, we have not broken below it, and we also have not broken above it. Oh yeah, I see. From when I recorded a short, Sharp, Smith, now it's good. Yep. And because we're still in this compression or consolidation, the market hasn't decided anything yet. And I just uploaded a video about Aster as well, and there's a short planned in about 7 minutes that's gonna tell you an absolutely great tip to use in these times to analyze. And that is going to be, I'm gonna reveal it on stream as well for the early birds. The wicks are doing the damage and the bodies are telling the story of the chart. Well, even though Bitcoin wicked all the way down here, we still haven't lost this level, and that is because we haven't opened and closed above, below this level yet. Meaning, this is still a level to hold. This brought us up to high, so maybe this flash crash was just to grab a lot of liquidity here, tap into a daily demand and then move up. It could be. We're not sure yet. But what we do know, what the facts are, is that we kept this level, and as long as we stay trading above that level, we can expect higher price action. Just slowly zooming in to see where resistance points at, because this dump we do not have a lot of price action. This is left open. Now I'm actually on the 50 minutes. Already filled my challenge that I put up for myself, not to go below the 1 hour, but that was quick. Well, it's fine. We need to do it to read price, right? So So yeah, fuck it. Bitcoin locally, we are building a lot of liquidity, but we can also see the market going a little bit like this span, right? And that is because after a big push up, actually, we could talk about the dump, but this buy up is also great because that's what kept this level. And I think we can create something here that we can start trading towards this liquidity on the highs. That doesn't per se mean I'm really bullish on Bitcoin, but like I said, we're in our extreme what we're holding, and as long as we can hold that level right here, so not go below the 108k or something, then it's just up. There's nothing else we can do. We can of course consolidate here, but if we are going to leave open liquidity on the highs and take liquidity from the lows, then it's a matter of time before you get that pop up towards that liquidity that we have been building. Because a lot of people are trying to short the market now as well, of course, because of that big dump. And all those shorters are right here above these liquidity highs. So it's interesting to take out. It is interesting to trade towards too, but we just do not have the right triggers at the moment yet. Yeah. So that is it for Bitcoin basically. We can expect some resistance here if we manage to trade up there, maybe move down. This is also in combination with this right here. Sometimes it makes it a bit easier to read for people if we do it like this. Grabbing liquidity, this are all liquidity. If we manage to hold here, we can expect the price action to go in that direction. That's how it's looking. And well, this is our last little price action before that big dump down. So this would also be your crazy supply, and it's gonna be a long journey to push up from there because there's a lack of price information here, so there's going to be a lot of resistance sitting there. So that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin at the moment. Hold this level and we're still good. If we're gonna lose this level, however, then we could expect price to fill in this wick that we have created. I think Ethereum is not actually even looking that bad. If we look at it from a range perspective, you could argue, and this is still within the rules, that this could be our 3-tap bottom and we could create something here locally to continue up. This is what brought us to new highs. That is not a new high, it's a liquidity hunt, and you could still expect reaction from the market here. This would also be my last hold on Ethereum if we ever want to go towards all-time highs again, the 3350 mark. So we really want to hold this low if we do want to see that continuation, and if ETH can ever break that all-time high again instead of sweeping it like it has done now. So ETH is not even looking that bad because the damage is not really done on Bitcoin and Ethereum, right, guys? I mean, everyone saw the altcoins in a little bit back, just minus 80%, minus 70. So the altcoins is really where the damage is done. The majors are still okay. At least the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and the Solana are okay. So yeah, this is what I would be looking at. Yesterday I also shared in the stream a possibility of a long on Ethereum. We had this range, well, we couldn't take out our highs. Well, you know what that means. We need liquidity from the other side, and if that liquidity is taken, then you can trade towards that liquidity that we have left open. Absolutely nailed it, but the entry was at midnight for me, so I couldn't be able to take profit on that, but it's always good to see that your analysis works. For now on Ethereum, this is a little bit scary because we have reached our technical target. And yeah, you can see prices consolidating from there as well. I'm not gonna go too much into this. Because my play would have been to long here and not do what the market is trying to do. No, it has reached my technical target, so it's gonna be a bit patient on ETH. But we could continue this trend. We could even start to reject here, build a distribution, then go down until proven otherwise. A lot of possibilities at the moment. But because this bottom is not bad, then this would still be a great POI to look for longs. Hey Rach, welcome to the stream, brother. How are you doing? How have you experienced the crash into the market? Okay, now we're gonna go through a few altcoins, and this is where really the damage is done. Binance deleveraged my Bitcoin short, really? Okay, that's probably because they had to pay you too much then. Yeah, there's a lot of complaining about the exchanges when the crash happened. I know Bitfavo didn't function anymore. You can buy, you can sell. Because for a lot of people, these crashes are the dream, right? Their strategy is to buy every dip, and if you go on that exchange and you cannot buy the dip, then, man, you're so screwed. But Binance only does that when you make too much money, Rage. So well done. Okay, injective is not the greatest here. Because what we really wanted to hold was this level. Of course, we had these equal lows, and I would... No, let me change that. This is our extreme demand of our whole push upright and our trying of the uptrend, and we absolutely failed to do so because we have just created a market maker top, and then we saw the expansion down. And like I said, bodies tell the story. What's the story at the moment? The story is that we are holding our extreme demand. And holding this is pretty strong because we did have equal lows right here, so it would have made sense to swing high, swing low, take out the swing high, and then move towards the swing low, just because we left those equal lows for later. But for now, this zone is fine. What we're holding on injective. This is also in combination with this level right here, your last little pullback before that expansion up, and this is where we're holding support the whole time. So this in combination with that extreme. So all in all, great zone, and I understand why price pushed it all the way back here. All the alt charts look the same. Can you check Dash just to check it? Trying to do a Zach. I'll check it in after injective Mino. Good to have you in the stream, by the way. I also wanted to buy Astra on the low, but I just couldn't do it because the buy button didn't work. God, I hate Binance. Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. Those exchanges are fuck are you know, you're depending on them. Your money on an exchange. You don't rule over your own money. No, you're logging into their exchange. It's so yeah. Wanted to buy Astra on the dip. Well, this was a great place to do it. Perfect. But are some opportunities coming. Made a recent video about it today, actually a few hours ago on Aster, so I'm not gonna go over that in the live stream. If you wanna see Aster, check out the video. Same with XPL. Finish up Injective, then let's check out Dash. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go into the local picture because it hasn't really created anything I would consider looking at. Okay, it's gonna skip this then. But anyways, could be a great point of interest for longs. But remember, after such a big crash, the market needs to recover. And I'm personally waiting on Monday for New York to open. See how we are going to react on everything. Dash. Did you buy anything at the bottom? No, sir. I don't touch those moves. My edge in the market is not spot buying. My edge in the market is just simply trading and not trying to buy a really good low in such volatility. I'd rather stand back on the sidelines and enjoy the show than be involved in that. Because if you create a 1 minute candle of 10-20%, it's literally gambling with your whole account. And but for investing in spot buys, no, I have not had any spot orders in the market to buy. There were some great opportunities, absolutely, but it's not my style. Dash. What happened at this listing price, man? Also, Dash is okay. The only one that looks normal. I'm not sure what to think of this wick. I'm not sure if there is any price action here. No, I think I will accidentally press the button if I see this. Yeah, I will accidentally press the button. Okay. Okay, so first up, what I like about Dash is that we've been wicking our low every time, and I've never seen a candle from here open and close below one of these wicks, indicating okay, in the long term maybe market makers could be accumulating orders here to then push the price up, because we've never had a valid break, right? What I like about this is with this move, so many buyers came into the market. And where are those buyers going to be? Right there. This was also our starting signal of our next trend, which happened right here. And we've created another local market maker bottom, I would say. So what Dash has done high time frame is beautiful enough to continue our local trend, which is at the moment up. A demand left open with a lot of liquidity below. I cannot say that we're never gonna return to this wick that we have made, because we have created equal lows and there is a nice demand laying there. It's also the demand that brought you out of that pennant. So all in all, a great place to test back. But I guess we held what we had to hold, and it's up. And we are just demand chaining. So we want to draw in the demand that kept bringing us higher. This demand brought us to new highs. Then this demand brought us to new highs. You want to continue that until you don't anymore, until you flip a demand, and then you can be bearish. But for now, you're bullish. Yeah, what have we done? We've just made a new higher high, right? The goal of a pump like this is just to break a new high. We have done so with confidence. What I mean by that is that this is not a fake break. This is a convincing break. And right now, you're trying to make a top, just like you did here, to correct and then keep following your expectational order flow from. So your PY to long would be from $36 to $44. That's what I would be looking at on Dash. Of course, on local confirmation. And even though this 4 hour is so juicy, if we never flip this zone to the downside, we're never gonna go there, and then it's not relevant. So this is what we have to look at. That is what we have to hold. Let's see. Okay, there is one more little pullback below that big block that could indicate that we could return there. That also straight away makes this a really good liquidity point, and I also want to sketch in that scenario. There we go. Beautiful. Look, locally already losing some structure. This brought us up to new highs. That's what we had to hold for in order to continue. But you can see we failed. We're leaving our highs open, meaning we need juice from the lows. So it's just forming a little top here. Not gonna touch it, because for the same case, the liquidity that we need is now grabbed and we can continue that expansion. We don't know. That's Dash, my friend. Now some high time frames to watch. Would be just this whole block. Yeah. We're still not there yet, because we can do the exact same as we've done with these pumps, and that is, oops, to reject. But locally up until proven otherwise, but we just have to watch out with those highs we're creating. Okay. Cash was crazy. Man, we've already bought this much up. Okay then. Okay. What we had on Caspa, and I also put this chart in the VIP, is that we had this compression forming, you know, and I normally don't touch compressions. But what you do when you have a compression, you wait for one side of the extreme to get taken. In this case, this was your swing low and this was your swing high, and you were moving in between those, so that those were your extremes. And what we did is we have now swept the whole bottom. But what I like is, this is the weekly time frame. Yeah, the daily time frame also closed above this level. And that is beautiful, because that means that below would just be a liquidity hunt and a buyback. But as long as we can hold this level right here, I'm expecting upside on Caspa, and maybe even we can start trading towards all of this trend liquidity that we have been building. So Caspa doesn't look bad at all. If we do see some local confirmation, I might buy some. Okay, beautiful. Nice POI. I think on Caspa we want to continue this. This is our POI, also in combination with this alt low to the left. We do not really want to trade below it. So this is what we would have to hold for in order to continue to move up on Caspa. But Caspa high time frame doesn't look... it actually looks pretty good with these candle closes here. Yeah. So let's see how that's going to develop the coming weeks. Definitely keeping an eye. Yeah, I think Doge is not really something I want to touch here. For Doge, I want to wait for us to get deeper into this block here, and then maybe we could continue up, because we had our last upside manipulation here, so that would also mean we would have to hold this level with the candle closes. And let's see if we can create something on the bottom to continue up, because the distribution is complete, of course. We have swept everything, so this is what we want to hold for upside on Doge. I actually think this correction has done a lot of good to the crypto market, if I'm looking at a few coins right now. Has accelerated a lot of the process of sweeping everyone out. Mino, pump, sure thing. This looks great. Okay. Because what we have to look at are the body closes. This is so important with analyzing at the moment, with this flash crash happening, this crazy wick in your chart. It doesn't really matter, because most wicks we're not going to return there unless it's really a dead project, right? But for example, pump, this is what brought us all the way up to new all-time highs, it's looking like. Not sure if there's any chart with more price data. Okay, there there is not all-time highs then. Let's just keep using Binance for now. But this was the last pullback that brought us up to new highs, and you can see the candle closes right here. This is good to see. The market is respecting your levels. Even though you wick through it, that doesn't matter. We are respecting our levels at the moment, and we are in demand that brought us up to new highs, right? This was on the lower time frame, our last push towards new highs. That's where price reacted from here and tried to bring us to new highs, but we failed. So this would be your ultimate resistance at the moment. This also aligns really well with this support and resistance in combination with your breaker slash supply. So this would be a zone to watch out for, and if we cannot gain this, we will continue going up. Or down, I'm sorry. Let's look a little bit locally. Okay, first up, I want to see manipulation while we go up. Right now, we have not done that. We have left this trend liquidity here at the bottom. I do not want to see that. We're also... We draw the things in. Because I can do everything out of my head and understand, but not all of you guys can. So We had a compression. We took out the range low. So now you could say, okay, we can move towards the range high, right? Which is correct. But we would have to hold our internal trend. I'm gonna be really careful with this demand here, just because on what I've just now told with this bottom. This bottom is not sustainable to me. If we do something like this, take out this bottom and then move up, look, then we have a really good higher time frame bottom, and then I actually want to really look for higher prices. But this, yes, we can expect a bounce. Yes, we could possibly trade from this zone towards that high, 100%. But I am going to be really careful with my entries. I want to see a lot of confirmation here before I step into a trade, just because of this bottom we have left behind. So that's pump. Welcome everyone to the stream, by the way. We're just spitting, going straight forward like a race car. So if there's any questions. Yeah, Mina, I told Pump the market is not strong enough here, so that's why it's dumping. No, I'm kidding, but what's wrong with this bottom? Wall rage. We have left 3 lows open. Well, you have a combination of more lows in a row. This is called trend liquidity. Okay, and trend liquidity is used for, I mean, buyers, buyers, buyers. So there are stop losses below this. What I'm scared of longing here is that they have left these lows on purpose. We have not come up in a manipulative way with order filling. We have just left this behind and have retail, have let them made a lot of money, right? So what is interesting for the market makers to come down here, and everyone that is looking at this at the moment, that's why I'm sketchy about this zone, everyone that's had been longing here and has taken profits, well, their stop loss is going to be below this low, and that is interesting for the market to come back and from there fill up their own orders and continue higher, because if there's less retail players in the market, there's more orders available for them to scoop up. But of course, if you had a good bottom here, for example, this went below this low, you took out, you swept, manipulative, all the people that were longing out, and then you came up, then I would be so ready to long here. But just because of this bottom, I'm a little bit more sketchy in this POI, because that's what everyone is seeing, right? Everyone is seeing this. That's also what we have to keep in mind. I'm not saying we have to sweep these lows, but there is a chance you are going to come back there. And if there was a liquidity hunt, the chance would have been decreased drastically. Okay, I hope that answered your question, Rach. Pepe, I am not going to go over Pepe because I think I saw, yeah, the Chartsmith has created a video about Pepe, so if you want to see a Pepe analysis, you should you should check that out. Okay, let's go to our boy Avantis. Yeah, great to hear, Rage. Good that you understand it. If anyone in the chat has questions like Rage, come and ask them. Be happy to answer them. Or if you're watching at a certain chart yourself and you want a different view or another view on that chart, then sure, leave the ticker behind in the chat and I'll take a look at it. Okay, the candle closes of Avantis is in a little bit of nowhere. So what I'm expecting here to do, because this is where our support came from, we close below that or above that demand. I'm expecting us to come back there. This is where everything started. So this is also going to be your heavy resistance. I'm guessing we're gonna do something like this. To find support back, because right now we're in the middle of nowhere between a huge gap, and I think price action is gonna reflect that by weird movements. Yeah, really weird. We do have a range though, which is right here, but that doesn't mean we're gonna go up as soon as we take that range low or possibly accumulate, because you would prefer your accumulations to be in these kind of levels. Yeah, I'm not touching Avantis because it is in the middle of nowhere. First we need to go back into supply, then short from there, or come back into demand and then long from there. I saw hype was really strong, so let's look. Yeah, this is beautiful from hype. We still held what we had to hold for in order to stay bullish. And that is this right here. It's absolutely great that we've held this, because as long as we can still open candles above this level, then I am expecting price to rise and test something a bit higher. Nothing to be seen here. Yeah, the local price section is just a mess on everything. Aster, please. Ah, Mino's watching the charts and Mino is seeing green candles. Let me finish up hype quickly first, okay? Yeah, holding $35 just means up for me. That's what we need to hold here. This is a crazily monthly top though. You know me well, bro. I'm starting to understand how people's minds work as long as I get to know them a little bit better and speak to them a little bit more, so... Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into these local time frames. Give it a few more minutes to develop, or minutes, few more days to develop, and next week I think we can take some good trades on all of the pairs. That's what I think. Let's do Astrofuser and then Opal for Rage. And then I'm gonna stream a maximum of another 20 minutes. And then ending the stream there. Okay. So I've just made a video about this. And when I've made the video, price action was here. But what we've done now is we have taken out our high. We wanted to leave this high behind as a potential target if we saw a reaction from here. But we failed to do so now. So what is next? I can see we front run this. That automatically makes this a good liquidity point. Now I'm gonna make my supply also a bit bigger because we've done a little bit more expansion. This is not a strong break. We're straight away trading back inside the range. And you know what I always say, you need to, or what we also say in the VIP Mino, this is not a valid break, and I do not have to tell you why, because you already know that now. It's what we learned last time. You can see price tried to hold, but it failed. So right now, for sure it's going to correct. We're going to stay trading below this. Then we could even see distribution form. Let's extend our range because this is a deviation. Don't understand why I still have this manipulation box. Thank you. Because of we have now deviated, I'm not that interested in this area. Because a deviation is not strength. And if we did show strength, like a great gain, maybe a test of this supply, then I would look at this. But because this isn't a convincing break, I want to look lower. I want to see us take a little bit more liquidity before we leave. This would also align with our this point of interest that has never been tested back. The first time that we protected a low and made our higher low for a new higher high. So all in all, a great point of interest to look at. And also for longs, this is still great. Yeah, nothing really changes for me. Could come back and make equal lows. Make equal lows where? Because this doesn't show strength, that straight away signals to me, okay, we're pretty bearish from here. If we now test back somewhere around this level, it always is most likely. If we come back, test this, make a lower high, that signals okay. We're going to need liquidity from the lows, and this demand testing is not going to be enough. So that would make this a good liquidity point, and would automatically mean this scenario is the best for me to start taking longs from. So that's really what I'm going to be looking at on Aster. And I'm not ready to short yet. If we touched this last buy to sell, then maybe I would have, but we have not done that, so also another reason to go higher, right? 0.17. Oh, I think you're talking about Opal, aren't you? I'm not sure, because 0.17 on Aster is a no-go. 1.17, yeah, okay. Sure, could be. But this is fine for me to leave open. Because we've manipulated here. And this was enough liquidity to leave our lows open and continue. The equals here wouldn't really mind me that much. Here would. So this whole green box, I'm gonna be looking for longs. Even if we don't take this low, it's okay. Both three scenarios are still valid. Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to bring you higher. When price doesn't, then we're continuing down, especially after taking higher time frame liquidity from the left. Okay, Aster, sure. Yeah, I think you mean op. Let me know if that is right. Optimism. Fullerton. Okay, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, we need to watch out on op, because this could be dying really hard. We need to hold this. Today's close is going to be really important for optimism. Because if we do manage to trade above here, then we're still fine. We could still expect some bullish order flow. But if we do open close below this wick, then is that going to be scary? Let's see. I did not see this part to the left yet. Let's see what we're doing here. Anti-pessimism. Yeah. It's always funny to see the names of certain crypto coins, because there are so many crypto coins in the meantime that they just have to find a few weird names, I guess. Seven viewers, thank you all for being here. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to like, because that will push our stream out there. More people watching, more chart requests. Your cage being more motivated than normal means better analysis. I always have that with the word analysis. I always try to do analysis. I think it's a Dutch thing, a Dutch problem. And if you're all new here, then where can you reach me? We do have a Discord community where we do daily technical analysis. We look at the market there together. We have market discussions, and the Chartsmith just put the link in the chat. So if you are interested in joining that, you definitely should. It's absolutely free, and it's a good place to be for a trader. Now let's continue on op. This was a daily order block, and I do not like why you hate the grid lines on the chart. It's because you don't have to use it. It's the last thing you need in a chart. It disrupts my view. let me put it on. Actually, I don't even know where to put it on these days. I think it should be here, right? Yeah. Oh my, that's terrible. It just disrupts with the pure price action, because you're seeing these lines that are invented and they don't represent anything. So that's why, I guess. I can read price better when there are no grid lines. Bro, just build a big brick wall, exactly. Just don't like that. But this candle close, very important. If we manage to close above this, we could expect some price back, and I want to trade back inside this green box as quickly as possible for any upside. And if we don't, then for me to get bullish here, we would have to build an accumulation locally if we do go below this. Because you could for 100% argue that this is a range deviation 1, and you could create that third tab right here. So it's really important on what optimism is gonna do here now. This death candle, death wick, it's gonna make it or it's gonna break optimism. And that's not being optimistic. Locally, you can already see weaker than other pairs. It's because we traded below this green box. It's scary. You can see we flipped it, became resistance, so you're getting a reaction from there. This is down until proven otherwise. Optimism is scary. This is going to be your whole supply. And you're still in that resistance all the way to the left. You can come up here and then reject from there. When I use dark screen, I get used to those grid lines. Help me see better the price levels. Well, if I want to see, I barely look at the price levels on the right, because if it says freaking if it says 45 cents or it says $45, I don't give a shit. All what matters is this. And if I want to see a certain price point, I do control on my keyboard and I can, you know, see it locks on with this magnet here. With control you activate that magnet. You can just mark out the price point that way and look at it. Yeah, Mino, you have to play around with that a little bit. If you play around just with your colors and how you read the chart, you're eventually going to come onto something which looks really clean to you and you're going to keep using that. So yeah, this is optimism in a nutshell. Rage has 2 requests, $4 and $4. Well, we're gonna look at it, but only once. Thank you for your chart request though. Oh man, this is new. Is there any more price data? There is. Let's see. It's gonna be the one that I have to chart on then. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Maxi. Okay guys, give me 1 second. I'm gonna quickly go to the toilet. I can't keep it in, so I'll be right back, yeah? Just give me a minute, then I'll continue here on 4. Okay. Let's continue with 4 here. Our extreme demand. You can clearly see the candle closes. Not sure how it is on the daily. You don't even see the demand. Just switch through a couple of time frames to check. Yeah, this is definitely the 1 hour, because you can see on the lower time frame, this is our last pullback that tried to bring us lower. Buyer said no and push price up. Our extreme demand in our whole chart is right here. And this made absolutely sense that this just collapsed, because look at all this trend liquidity we built it up. Look at all the trend liquidity we kept taking from the highs. It's just a matter of time. This is not strength. This is not a great uptrend. It's a big consolidation that market makers are filling up short orders to push price down. what is next? Because, man, it's recovering quickly compared to all of the others were already there, actually, from the big dump. I thought this also was a BNB meme coin, and also BNB kept so strong in the crazy crash. So it's insane. Okay. A little bit of weird candles, but we can work with it. After that big sweep of the lows, people straight away thought of this as an opportunity. That's why we saw a higher low, continued with higher highs, and a really aggressive bounce of this high to continue that structure once more. So what we want to do here is we want to look for longs between these 2 points, because that is our expectational order flow. It's going to be a bit scary because we took out major liquidity, so that could indicate us going a little bit lower than we can expect. You know, I always want to put the option out there that you can sweep the low that you want to protect, because in an uptrend you want to protect this, but then again a wick is not a break, and that is still valid. You can wick it and quickly come up, especially we took major liquidity out from the highs, so it could mean that we need this major liquidity from the lows to continue our move up. But we don't have to, of course. So let's continue. We can see this is our last pullback that sellers tried to push us lower, make a lower high, but buyers said no, and we push price up. So if price is gonna come back here, we are going to get a reaction from the market. This is pretty much the only zone you can, yeah, maybe on your extreme, but if you are on your extreme, you kind of want to take out that low. So that is a little bit about that. We've also now, this tried to bring us to new highs. We failed doing so, so we made a lower high, and I think we can continue downwards until we touch support again. This is around the 10-cent mark again, so that also could be good support in combination with our demand, of course. Yeah, this is what I would be looking at. Longs on local confirmation, of course. And I do not want to look any lower than that, just because we've came up so aggressively. XVS, last request, sure thing. We either are gonna sweep this on 4, because we've just not mitigated that supply yet, that really tried to bring us higher on the lower time frame, and we never tested that back. So this could become a good liquidity point, and if we sweep it and we start breaking structure, then I am shorting here towards the downside, towards all of this liquidity. And we do not come back there, then we're just gonna supply chain like this and go down. Those 4. Yeah, lots requests. You can do more. Unless I'm done and then I'm shutting down the stream. But if you are still putting in requests, then it's fine. I'll do them. It's okay. I pointed out this demand at the lows because it was our extreme, never tested. Okay. Actually, the market swept everything. Now, the daily candle is really important. Where did we close on the daily candle? We closed below this low. This is actually also the low we want to hold for in order to stay bullish. A lot of correlation with these pairs on other coins. If this candle can close above, it's not a break. It's just gonna become a liquidity hunt, and then maybe we can see some internal upside for that. But I do have to draw a really bearish scenario here. That is, we had this pennant, we swept the highs, meaning, okay, we are filling up orders on the highs to then push price down. Well, we have done that now, and this is our buy to sell, so we are still bearish until proven otherwise, so we definitely cannot get too bullish. This would be your strong supply, but you can even start rejecting from here. This bottom is not bad. Just because you built some liquidity on the highs, you took up the swing low. You can see we traded above it again, and we held our old liquidity. That is strong. We continued up, and I would call this a good break. Yep. That is a good break. So we have started a internal uptrend now. Of course, this internal trend is nothing compared to this trend. But internally we are moving up, and we could see some upside until this supply. This is your last pullback that broke us towards new highs. This also aligns with the line I've put in the chart. You can see this 5.110 mark, and it came from the low all the way to the left, right? Yeah, so that is great. More confluences added to your point of interest, always good to see. And even a little manipulation before pushing up. Traded above the high, luring in buyers, taking them out, and then we got that crazy expansion. So crazy POI, or crazy POI, just a really good point of interest to look at. This is what you want to hold for in order to continue up. I won't lie, you do not really want to go lower from here. I mean, this is open, but if this zone does lose, then I'm guessing we can go towards here and then try again. Sure, but it wouldn't be my preferable situation. I would prefer price to just react from this demand in combination with our old low and then continue higher, right? And of course the daily here is also really important. We want to see a close above our green line here. Well, everyone, I think that's gonna be it. There is no more chart requests, so then that definitely is going to be it. Yeah. Okay, I want to thank you all for being here in the stream. It was a quick little stream of an hour. Oh, Rage, you are on time, my friend. You are on time. Sure, giggle. Yeah, this is all the alarm bells ring-a-ding-a-ding are going off at the moment, and yeah, this. Let me check on a different chart. I mean, a different provider of the chart. Bybit. Okay, maybe more price information on MACD. There, look at this. What is this? Oh, I remember. Okay. Yeah, this is the chart I need to use on MACD. That's the most price information. All the wicks, I don't like. That's not really clean price action. Of course, the volume is really high from the massive dump. Didn't pressure this meme coin that much, but yeah. This is untested. Makes this a really good liquidity point. And remember, this is also the Binance low, I think. So that's also something to keep in mind. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's the Binance low. So that's even more interesting. And what we did from Binance is just build up liquidity. Everyone jumping on that new meme coin. Jumping on the meme coin that has been listed. Well, I think we have created a pretty significant top here. By taking out a bunch of liquidity each time and then just dumping down. And right now we're doing the same. We're building up liquidity, just that we've done here. We're taking liquidity from the highs, just as we're doing right here. So I could say I am expecting a down move coming, especially with this being front ran, equal lows being open at the Binance chart. There's too much retail liquidity for us not to take out. And if we do not take it out, then it's fine. Then it's not a trade for me. But I want to be in the trade after when the million people who have longed here have been stopped out. Not when they have already longed and my buy becomes their exit liquidity, right? So yeah, you want to be careful here, my friend. We could reject from this, or this. No. I would prefer this would be our extreme liquidity. Meaning if we leave this high open that caused this big dump, okay, sellers are sitting here. Then if they want to, if the sellers that were here want to protect their positions, then price have to leave that high open and continue down. Or sweep the high and then come down. But longing, I'm not interested. Shorting, I am interested, but the price action still needs to develop for in order to get that long. The 1 hour, this is what brought us up. So if we can hold this low, we could still continue up, right? But if you do start to break that, yeah, then it becomes pretty clear to me that we're gonna go here. Let's giggle. Alright. Rage, you had your chance. Now I am ending the stream. I want to thank you all for being here. Mino, thanks TK, always a pleasure. No problem, bro. It's always good to have you in the stream. Good to have you applying some input, some chart requests, etc. It's beautiful to see. Good that you're putting in the effort. Alright, thank you all for being here. And I'll see you all in the next stream. And I'll speak to you all in the Discord. Peace.